Live streaming is on.
Hey, good morning, good evening. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Gay, Chief Marketing Officer of BlockCerts Blockchain, and we've got a very special presentation today, the wrap-up of the Singapore Fintech Festival 2021. And good morning to you, Tim, Mr. Tim Vasco, our founder of BlockCerts Blockchain.
How you doing, Dan? It's great to be here. Can't believe it's Friday already. It's just what happened. It was just Monday.
I know it seems like seconds have gone by and a week's gone by, but especially with Singapore, 16 hours ahead of us, and it's been a long week, but very exciting week. And I'm usually enthused about these every week, but I was like a little kid for Christmas waiting to have people open presents here, because what we're going to talk about is a lot of the fabric that was woven through the Singapore Fintech Festival is what we've been talking about for many weeks here. So.
Right, and I had the great opportunity to talk at the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners this week, and same kind of thing. Like, this is everywhere. This thinking and what's happening is everywhere. And like you, Dan, I'm super excited because we've got the boxes we keep unwrapping under the Christmas tree at BlockCerts. So
we do. Very exciting. I'd like just a shout out and thanks to Joelle, Sona, and Tiffany, who've been managing our booth at the FinTech Festival. And then also would like to do a shout out to Olivia Lee, who's the High Commissioner of Canada, for her support and everything that the Canadian government and the ministry has done with us this week and over weeks in the past. So with that, we're going to talk about that in the future predictions. We've got Vitalik and Vikram and your predictions, Tim, that we're going to talk about from even 2019. Ben Horowitz and then also the CEO from Chainlink. So very interesting.
This was a huge event this year, Dan. It was massive. It was virtual. I think there was some online. I was talking to friends over the week where we could squeeze in a quick, even just a chat, IM chat on that are on the ground in Singapore. And the fuel behind this, 260 exhibitors, 7,000 companies, 130 countries, 60,000 attendees. It was just massive. And what was really cool to be part of this, and again, as you said, shout out to the government of Canada for always keeping BlockCerts front and center as a Canadian-based and engineered blockchain that is now in 5 continents. So we're really globally based now. But it's exciting to see that there's that mind share throughout the entire ecosystem of what's going on.
It really is. And if you want to get a view of the world and what's happening, this was the place. And as you said, a very common theme of what's happening in the world, and huge acceptance in terms of crypto, NFTs, blockchain, and everything that's happening. So let's go through it.
And so as we got out there, it was really exciting because we were part of the Canadian Capabilities Pavilion. What's happening in Canada, this idea of distributed cloud and extending that to globally to countries. And one of the things that struck me, Dan, is that I think not only are people waking up, but governments are waking up. They don't want to hang their hats on a big tech company's policies, infrastructure, control. And even as I was going through some of the history of the big giants out there, and I'm looking at the vaccine passports and things that governments and companies are handing off, and the whole theme was stop handing it off. You need to control it. You need to get a handle on it yourself. But look at the speaker series. Look at look who's talking about it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. From Visa to Microsoft, PayPal, which they had some significant things to say. And I know on the next slide you're going to talk about, it is pretty amazing that just a year or two ago, they were just starting to talk about crypto and accept what's happening and trying to figure it out. But as we look at that today, these big entities have crypto divisions. They have individuals that are in charge of large staffs that are focused on this specific area of blockchain.
Well, and you know, that kind of boils down to what all these people were saying in unison, which is crypto is here for sure. There's no question that there's a change to the way the financial systems are done. And then, you know, the largest names in tech were there, but that's not the story, right? The largest names in tech showed up, but they're still Web 2.0, legacy infrastructure. You know, their business models are not designed for a decentralized cloud, a decentralized economy. They're really not designed for a decentralized metaverse, right?
Exactly.
They're not Web 3.0. So pretty much everything big tech is what this entire conference was. Well, we're not this, you know, we're not Father's Oldsmobile or whatever that old commercial.
Yeah, it's almost like hello, boomer.
Yeah, and so, you know, I look at, you can go on Salesforce, Benioff's there smiling. I don't know how long he's going to smile. He's smiling right now because he just popped up 50 more points on the S&P 500.
Right.
But here you go. He's got all this centralized software and a vaccine passport and things like that, which is not decentralized. It's not sitting on anybody. It's sitting on his servers. Of course he's smiling. Why wouldn't he be? Just keep giving me stuff, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite interesting to see how it's being played out. I guess that was the theme that I got out of it.
Yeah, me too. It was just very common, you know, decentralized, and the prime minister opened up the conference, and the deputy prime minister of Singapore, and it just goes to show what's really happening out there in terms of you know, digital wallets, crypto, and customers' awareness.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was able to get a deck that was created by Google, Tamsin Bain. It's called the Economy C, and it's a SEA, which is Southeast Asia. Just to give people who may not know this a little highlight of why Singapore is such a pivotal point for BlockCerts to be in and just what's happening in the world. The Singapore is the leading financial center in Asia right now. It's the largest and the leading financial center in Asia. I'm just going to read a few things. There's a $200 billion in 2016. There was a $200 billion estimate of the digital opportunity in Southeast Asia. The growth for Southeast Asia economy in 1 year was $50 billion, right? Mm-hmm. Where the internet economy is now it's growing at a rate of about $100 billion per year as of 2019. And the population in South Asia alone is approaching 1 billion people. So when you think about that, we're talking about 3 times the size, almost 3 times the size of the United States, right? Right. We're talking about this massive drive, and really anyone and any company who's anybody has a presence in Singapore in financial services and fintech. Next week, we'll be meeting with the Monetary Authority of Singapore. We've been meeting with them for about 3 or 4 years. Again, on digital identity and what's emerging in the sandbox is what they call it over there in Southeast Asia. So it's a big deal. And Singapore FinTech always sets the stage of what's here and what's to come.
True. And Tim, I think another thread that was really woven through this is how COVID has really forced, you know, digitization and online banking and everything else that is all digital. I saw a statistic that in 2020, digital increased by over 50%. You know, online shopping has increased well over that, about 75% over last year. And it makes sense because, you know, people aren't traveling as much. They're at home, or they're staying close to home. So
exactly. And so one of the things that was a theme in crypto, but you know, getting beyond crypto, a lot of other stuff was really starting to be recognized. But in crypto is this idea of how much more efficient this payment and secure, this payment mechanism and this system is of finance, just fundamental finance. And that's why you did see MasterCard, Visa, PayPal. We have Vikram Pandit saying all banks will think about crypto trading. They have to. There has to be an exchange now, because it's just a very efficient way of moving value transfer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And I know we're going to talk about the cost of money here in a little bit too.
Yeah. But so with that, one of the big themes, and this was probably one of the most exciting ones for us, we've been saying it all along, is Ben Horowitz, you know, and CEO and founding general partner or co-founder of Andreessen Horowitz, said right there, it's going to be transformational. It's very much like the internet. That's a platform for permissionless innovation. Yeah, that's what we've been saying with BlockCerts, is that's what utility means. It's a whole new internet, a whole new internet. And this week, Dan, we announced, and stay tuned, folks, because you're going to be seeing it, our new blockchain-based search engine, where every business is on blockchain, and every organization, everyone has their public key. And we're going to do a special announcement and a special launch of exactly how that works. And it works today. Like, I'm watching it and I'm pinching myself every day. I'm like, this is here. You know,
unbelievable.
Only took 15 years.
I know. You and I have been talking for over a year on this about Deja Vu to telecom days and to the introduction of the internet. And that's what Ben Horowitz was saying, is that when the internet came out, people didn't really understand what was happening. The same thing is happening here.
Yeah.
It's transformational. It's an incredible, you know, opportunity.
It is, and just like .com and the original kind of awareness of internet, there was a lot of pops and a lot of ups and downs and cycles and things like that. But the fundamental winners out of this, the long-term functional platforms, of which BlockCerts will be one. You heard it here. We have been one. We've been around for a long time working at this. We are going to be one of the significant deliverers of this technology. And there's very little that can't be seen now of how that's going to happen. But again, it was super exciting to say is this idea, intermediate technology, intermediate step between the physical and virtual world has not been fully achieved until Web 3.0, fully virtual solutions. That's what we've been working on. That's why we have our dozen solutions. And it says DocuSign is not a full solution. Thank you. Somebody else finally said it. Somebody big finally said it.
I think Ben's been listening to us, Tim.
I think so. I'm not sure. I think maybe Ben tunes into our world from here. Hi, Ben. Shout out if you're out there. But yeah, I mean, this idea of the Silicon Valley quick one-off solution, go get a bunch of market share. It's over.
Right.
Frankly, it's just over. And I think the Valley and really brilliant people like the people who built that place are starting to recognize it too, finally. And exactly. Or at least if they didn't recognize it before, because they probably did, at least they're starting to admit it. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
so so you kind of get into, as you were just talking about, Dan, the COVID and post-pandemic trends, right?
Yeah, and with this, it was pretty amazing to listen to a lot of individuals in, you know, the collegiate sector that are looking at what's really happening, et cetera. And on this one, you know, cash is expensive. You don't really think about how expensive cash is, but if there's a better way of doing something and it saves you you a lot of money. That's also another reason why cryptocurrency is taking hold. It's just more efficient.
Exactly. And when we say the future of cash is wearable devices, it's very true. I mean, I've got a great watch. I'm actually not wearing it right now, which surprises me, which is my Garmin watch. Got a big face on it, and I can read everything. I can pay with it. I get my workouts in on it. And I get all of my notifications right from BlockCerts platform right on my watch. So I never really am out of touch unless I want to be. And if I want to be out of touch, I just click disconnect. So not only are we using our technology on all kinds of devices, on our laptop, on our mobile, on our watches, we also are, wearing this technology, and it's embedded in our lives. When you think about that amount of data being passed around, like my health score, my blood pressure, when am I stressed out?
No kidding.
which is always, how many steps did I take in a day? And oh, by the way, how many steps was it from here to the wine shop to pick up a bottle of wine, right?
And somebody geofencing to tell somebody else, an advertiser, hey, place this in front of Tim because he goes to wine shops.
That's exactly right. And so, these are the kinds of things that we want that we've done at BlockCerts actually, to identify and de-identify with public keys. So we get all that convenience with none of the personal invasive exposure that we've been led to believe that's the way the internet has to work. It doesn't. Flat out does not have to work that way. And it's a lot of infrastructure to make that happen, but we're on what we learned from old infrastructure and then launching this entire new inflection point of Web 3.0. And that became very, very, very apparent when you started talking about India. And what's the population there? 1.3 or 1.6 billion? I'm not even sure. It's just absolutely massive.
Exactly. If you look at India and Africa in terms of the global workforce, both of those two countries are really going to, define the future.
So when we've been operating in India, we're a corporation in India. One of our biggest teams is in India, and across India, we're in all parts of India now, many parts of India. And one of the interesting things about India is when we first entered there in 2013, think about that, 2013, this was like at the dawn, like the dinosaur ages of Bitcoin and blockchain, right?
Exactly.
And we entered India, created our corporation. Some of our founding management and members are still with us there, running and growing, and Chitra and Garish and Jenna, shout out to the team there. Sumesh.
Sumesh for late nights.
Yeah, always, who kept us going during Singapore. Thanks, Sumesh. Yeah. And when we first entered there, and I said, hey, they're like, where's the office? I'm like, no office. We don't need an office. And everybody's like, awesome, but nobody's buying it here, right?
Right.
And now look at what this is: 600 SMEs are logging in via mobile. So when COVID first hit and the lockdown hit, everybody who said we were crazy, we weren't a real company, blah, 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 was calling Chitra, and she's getting calls from companies that have like 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 employees saying, so how do you guys do this?
How do you do this?
How do you do this? BlockCerts. It's called BlockCerts. We use our own platform. We eat our own cooking.
Exactly.
So that's been really exciting. And then, of course, Joelle and then Sona, obviously, is based in India. She's based in Mumbai. And then Joelle, based in Mauritius, Africa, who really kept us going during the show. Both. So again, as Dan said, thank you, Sona, Joelle, and Tiffany, who stayed up late to support them here.
Exactly.
Back here in North America. We see that what the opportunity is there, because this infrastructure, literally, let's look at this. It's just emerging over the last 18, 24 months, not even 24 months yet, right?
Yeah, it is.
And 95% of Africa still in cash. Right.
Yeah. And they actually will leapfrog because they don't have a lot of legacy systems like the US, et cetera. So, smartphone enabled, it's going to be amazing to see what's going to happen with Africa, especially when you're able to get paid via your smartphone, and cross-border payments, which are very expensive today, are opened up. And once that happens, in terms of poverty, it just warms my heart to think of what can be with financing small businesses and farming and other things in Africa.
And Dan, it goes back to your telecom comment, which was back in when telecom was such a huge infrastructure deal in Africa and India. The massive growth was in mobile because the infrastructure was less.
Right.
Everybody had access to it. You don't have wires running all over to your home. The hardwired system didn't exist.
Right.
And by about I'm going to get this date wrong, but I think 2013 to 2015, Vodafone figured this out, brought M-Pesa out in Kenya, and it became 85% of the GDP. It was the first mobile crypto payment, if you will. And it's just absolutely crazy. So it's not like everything Web 3.0 is brand new and hasn't been tested. It's just been waiting to be unleashed, really.
Yeah. Well, and especially with the largest companies and banks, et cetera.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just going to say the Web 3.0 and crypto, here's some great quotes that we picked up. Once you start using cryptographic money on a public network, kind of goes back to that M-Pesa story, it's transformative, and you realize this is absolutely how the financial system should work. That's pretty freaking cool. FTX, which is just dumping tons of money into ads and everything. You see it. They're on Super Bowl ad type budgets. I think we announced on one of our World From Here's that Tom Brady and Giselle are doing a $20 million ad campaign. So yes, it's gone mainstream, and digital currencies are starting to get institutional adoption. We've already talked about that in a way we hadn't seen before, with users, investors, partners, and the regulators are in on the game. They're all saying, yep, this is here. We're serious about it, and so forth. And, how are we going to deal with these challenges of inflation and COVID and all of these new stimulus packages and things like that are just front and center on everybody's mind. So again, using real tools and a true Web 3.0 platform that enables this. And at BlockCerts, that's why we tokenized the entire platform. Like, everything's a token. That the other thing we launched this week, Dan, is our fully operable NFT and token bridge. So we can now bridge seamlessly from BlockCerts to Ethereum and any token in any of the thousands of tokens in the Ethereum marketplace, any of the thousands of functions in the Ethereum marketplace, any of the hundreds and soon to be thousands of functions on the BlockCerts marketplace are interoperable. So two things we've announced: a whole new way to create search and privacy engagement, and the second one was the bridge, which is, it will take some explaining for people to understand it.
We'll talk about that in another time, but that is really the realization of Web 3.0, is opening that infrastructure up for everyone. And as you said, blockchain for every business, for everyone.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what got us into the next thing. And the cool part about this, I hope everybody's recognizing, is we weren't saying any of this. Like, we have already said it, which we're going to talk about in a minute.
Yes, we are.
It was everybody else coming out and saying stuff we've been saying for a couple of years, many years actually, and building into. So that's why it's so exciting for us.
Welcome into our club.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we kind of ended up, I kind of glazed over that, but the future of e-commerce in Web 3.0, Paul Chaudhry is a founder of Platformation, really brilliant guy. I've read all of his stuff. He really has been talking about the platform economy for, you know, half a decade now, writing about it. He's a well-known, renowned expert. Openness of these platforms is always present for strategic reasons. So when we've been designing the platform model, the platform as a service, decentralized platform as a service model at BlockCerts, a lot of the thinking that I've been able to work in through the architecture and with our technology, I've been following a lot of what Chaudhry has been saying. So, So anyway, the next part that was talked about obviously is DeFi. And I think this is pretty much says it all. We haven't even fueled the DeFi rocket yet. We haven't it hasn't even begun.
We just now connected, you know, the fuel tank. So it's
so
ready for
true.
launch.
I mean, you can't think that the DeFi market is, as he says, I expect the DeFi to be trillions. So do I. I totally agree with that. I think that there's no question that the scale of DeFi is going to really eclipse what's going on right now. A lot of it has to do with how fast and furious the technology is evolving there. Right. And then again, like our bridge, which is really what we were waiting for, for a solid test and completion and launch of that, because you're gonna have to be able to bridge across these, and you're gonna have to be able to cross this whole ecosystem of tokenomics throughout the universe to make DeFi really, really take off. But it's already taken off to the tune of, I believe it crossed $100 billion this week, and crypto crossed the crypto market crossed a valuation of $3 trillion.
Unbelievable, an extra trillion.
Yeah. So one of the other big themes, obviously, is this idea of climate, as we've been talking about from Mark Carney in Values. Climate, COVID, and credit are the three big challenges of our world today. I throw in one more, which I would say the fourth one he missed is cloud, because centralized cloud will not work. So Mark, with all due respect, I love the first three. Let's add one more, plus cloud, because cloud is the connector to it. And exactly. Mark's probably watching this too. I think Ben and Mark both carve out 9:30 a.m. Friday morning for the.
Yeah, it's part of their morning routine on Fridays.
Right, exactly. So anyway, the scaling of green, the certifying of green, and things like that. As we've said at BlockCerts, we're a zero net company already. We're bringing that kind of global footprint and perspective to not only mining, but other transactions that will be part of our model for how you actually prove that companies are contributing to climate change in a positive way.
Exactly. Wow. I think Visa needs to talk to us here. This is actually pretty amazing when you think about, we all know that NFTs have been very, very popular this year, but because of that popularization, NFTs have brought in a whole new set of individuals that are downloading digital wallets. You know, they're interested in art, music, and other things, but because of that, crypto has become cultural, it's become cool. And because of the functions, if you read in the blue area, you know, his prediction at Visa is something that we've rolled out about 3 weeks ago, which is behind the wallet, the functionality and, you know, the utility of a wallet, not just for trading crypto any longer.
Exactly. And so a lot of the things that we're bringing out with our NFTs and with our new NFT bridge is how these actual functional things we do every day that do need to be modeled around that type of technology are possible. All of that's embedded in the wallet. We got some really exciting ones that we're going to be rolling out there. So we're kind of running out of time here, but let's just go into the kind of last thing. Vitalik spoke with Ethereum's killer ecosystem to grow over the next few years. I do think that the Ethereum infrastructure is really solid. Obviously, we hard forked that back when Ethereum was a baby in 2014. Here's a fun fact for everybody. 2013 is when Vitalik did his ICO and raised $2.3 million at 30 cents. So how would you have liked to have been part of that? Here we are today, years later, we still have these massive new opportunities to cover this off. And hang on a second, let me kill that.
Yeah,
and
I just did. We're doing another webinar.
Yeah. Okay. Not having much success here.
One of the key things that Vitalik was talking about is that this is going to be really as a merger of two things, of money and function. And, you know, it's not just about the money and nature, as he said, but, you know, we're plugging into this massive shift of utility and other functions. And, you know, Ethereum is building their value exchange for the future based upon that.
Exactly. So, you know, to wrap it up, because we are running behind, what we predicted back in 2019, we've got this, we republished this, all of the predictions we made, all the things we were working on. We laid out a roadmap 2 years ago at the Singapore Fintech Festival. It was televised. This is a video that we did or that somebody else did about us. And I was asked a lot of these questions. And the reality is that back in those days, you know, just a couple of years ago, this was falling on deaf ears. Now everybody's saying it. So a lot of the themes we talk about today, and literally the things we're rolling out now every single week at BlockCerts that we've made real, are the move in this whole Web 3.0 metaverse structure. We're going to see a lot more. So on these World From Here's, our goal is to tell you what's coming. Our goal is to tell you what's going to be there. Go listen to 2019. You'll see what we said was going to happen, has happened, is happening at scale, and how we predicted we would be seeing these transactions occur. Well, obviously that set our roadmap for the infrastructure that we're delivering today at BlockCerts. So again, think about all of these opportunities. We would love to have you as part of our community, our token holder community, cloud power to the people, as we love to say, trust, truth, and transparency in all of these types of transactions. And visit us at blockcerts.com, click on tokens, become a Choice member, download your wallet. It's live now. Go download your wallet and join us on this journey. It's super exciting and there's a ton happening.
Absolutely. Join us on 3.0 now, not in the future. So
yeah,
we look forward to having you join us. And thanks again for another great World From Here, Tim. And we'll see everybody next week. So thanks again.
Okay, 9:30 next Friday. Please subscribe, thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Give us feedback, and we love to read the feedback. And stay safe, stay healthy. Get Web 3.0 digital. Get on BlockCerts. Join our token community. We'd love to have you on this rocket